Now, just to kind of show the results, this is the final one that I had done. So let me open this up here. Now there's going to be something you'll notice with this, and that is that I've got a lot of different materials on this object, all different colors. I'm going to explain what that is in just a second. But if we take a look at this, all of the UVs are nice and laid out. So even this, it looks like a mess because I've got things parented to it, so it's showing all the other objects. But every object is nice and UV'd. So this gives me that full control to texture things. Now, why is everything a different color like this? This is a way of categorizing your object so that you know which materials are going to go where. So, for example, anything that's a metal material is going to be yellow in my case. I've got green for what's going to be a PVC kind of wheel material. The pink is going to be kind of a greased metal. Everything that's a different color is going to have a different specific material to it. Now, you could just add the material on yourself. And if you're just working in Maya, that's great. But for me, I'm actually going to be texturing this in Substance Painter. Substance Painter, for anyone who doesn't know, is a great program. I forget the cost of it, but it's a great program for adding materials to your objects. And it works in this great layered form. I'm not going to do a full demo here, but I just want to show the kind of workflow of taking your object and bringing it into Substance Painter. So in Maya, what I would do is I'll take my whole object, just take the whole thing, and I'm going to go to File, Export, Selection, and I'm going to export it as an OBJ file. You could also do an FBX, but because it's all different pieces, OBJ is going to work a little bit better in my case. If you don't see that option in there, just make sure that under Windows, Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager, you have the OBJ export plugin enabled. From there, I can go to Substance Painter, and yeah, I'm going to update that in just a little bit. I can go to File, New. I don't need a template, but I can just select my skateboard, set my resolution of the textures that I want. So I want 4K textures here. And then I can hit OK. That's pretty much it right from the start. Now, this will bring in the skateboard, right into Substance Painter. And from here, I can start adding materials. Now, the reason they were all different colors before is it allows me to auto-populate this list right here. So now, because I added all those different materials in Maya, I already have all of the materials all categorized right in here. So for example, let's take that metal. So this is going to be anything that's metal. And let's add a, what do I want? Not iron raw. What would it be? Maybe an iron type color. Maybe grainy iron. Let's go grinded. That sounds like it'll be cool. And I'll just drag that in. And look at that. We get that cool brushed metal grinded look. And it gets applied to all the little metal bits, even down to this bolt right there. And yes, this is Substance Painter. So we could go with that. I'm just going to do this really roughly here, nothing too fancy. Let's go with our PVC material. So actually, let's do silver. So this is going to be all the little washers and stuff. This is probably going to be like a chrome. So cobalt pure, maybe. First, let's go silver. Boop. So now we've got these sections here that are nice and silver in comparison to the iron of the other parts. Let's go to our bushings. So the bushings are the kind of rubber sections right in there that kind of create this the rotation here. This is probably going to be like a plastic material. I'd actually want to just look up what are the bushings made out of? What material? Is it metal? Is it rubber? Is it plastic? But now we get something like that. Oh yeah, that's not right. Way too grainy. Let's go with... Let's see. What would be a good one? Do I have rubber? Just for the sake of difference. Rubber, rubber, rubber. No, I don't have rubber. I need to expand my materials here a little bit at some point. Let's just go with a basic plastic mat. And then I'll just change the color to be black. There we go. That's better. Okay, we've got that. What else do we have? So silver, metal, metal grease. Okay, so this is going to be the sections of the metal right there, like that arm right there. So let's take the iron. Let's actually make iron what? Iron grainy. It's not going to be as rough as the rest because it is polished for being an axle like that. But that isn't the right color. That's too just normal. I want that grease to it. Let's actually take the color here and just turn it a little darker. Like so. Okay. Heading there. Now I could add something on top of that to make it even cooler, but for now we're just going to leave it like this. Let's take the wheel, or let's see the cone. So this is going to be this little bit right in here. That's going to be plastic. I could keep that kind of white, but I'm going to put it kind of this beigey color. Okay. Kind of a little yellow and then ever so slightly beige color. Okay. Let's go higher. Let's go to the wheel. To the wheel. Once again, plastic. That seems pretty good. I could even make it out of PVC. Plastic PVC. Let's try that just to be different. Okay. It's a little too shiny. I'm going to up my roughness right there. And then let's just change our color. Actually, blue is fine. We'll go with blue wheels for now. And I can just keep going. So the board top. Let's actually do the board top last because I want to try something. So the board bottom is going to have an image. Let's do that in just a second. And the board middle. The board middle is going to be wood. So I'm just going to find some wood here. And then let's rotate that pattern. Now I would actually want to find a good wood material here. This is just going to be a placeholder. But we get something like that. Okay, maybe a little brighter. I'd need to add stripes to it so it has a layered look to it. But let's go on the bottom. So bottom is going to be, what material could I do? I could do a plastic. Plastic is pretty good. Again, this is where you'd want to look at what the material is actually made out of. But maybe a plastic, a glossy plastic. That seems kind of cool. Maybe we'll just add a little roughness so it's not quite so perfectly glossy. And then I want an image on this. Okay. Well, I could do this in a lot of different ways. I could take the color and try to add an image in there. Or let's just add right in here a new fill layer. I just want the color of that. And I'm going to bring in a texture. So I just found a board image online. So let's drag that in here, and I'm going to place this under textures. Let's import that in. Then under the color here, let's just find that. Oop. There we go. So let's see, is it in here? There we go. I can just place this now. And this is what I love about Substance Painter. It's so easy to just add materials and whatnot. It's so interactive. There we go. Got this nice kind of shiny board right there on the bottom. Maybe it's a little too shiny. Well, I could always take my roughness here and just add a little bit of a roughness to it. So let's see, maybe some dirt right in there. Now it's not perfectly shiny right there. We just get some little imperfections. Okay, let's do the top here. Well, the top, it's got that grip tape on it. So grip tape is made out of, if I remember correctly, what was it? I need my materials. It is, what was it called? Silicone. It's a silicone coat, I believe. So let's bring that in. And we get that. Yay. Except the texture isn't right. The texture on a skateboard is kind of a sandpaper type texture. So my silicone coat here doesn't really have what I need right now. So let's take that silicone coat and I'm going to take away the roughness, or actually the height. So the height of this is kind of the bump map of the object. I'm going to take that off. And instead, I'm going to add a new fill layer that's just the height, or the bump of it. And let's add, which one did I use or want to use? I just want procedural textures. That way it's a nice, I could use white noise. Berlin would be pretty good. I just want kind of grain to it. Let's try white noise. Yeah, that's pretty good. Look at that. We get some depth in there. We get that nice skateboard texture to the top of this now. There we go. So we're starting to get our skateboard. Now, this is just like throwing things on. You can go so far with this. You could add scratches, you could add scuffs, layers of textures. So for example, let's see if I can kind of add those like stripes down the wood of the side here. So how would I want to do this? I could add a fill layer that's just the color. And I'm going to add a, do I have stripes? Okay, perfect, stripes. And let's see. So the first thing I want to do is rotate it so that it's angled along the board. So let's rotate that 45 degrees. Or 135, I should say. That should get us in place. Okay. Let's add some stripes. Oop, not quite the right angle there. Yep. Okay, 100 should do it. Not quite. Okay, that's close enough. 103. 102. Hey, not quite. Close enough though. So I can just take. Oh, that's why adding the stripes is changing the pattern. Okay. So let's do 135. And then let's just tweak the scale instead. There we go. That does it. So let's see. I want 7 stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. This is just right. So I can use this. And then I'm just going to set this layer to maybe color dodge. Do they have that? Yeah, color burn. There we go. And then let's just tone that down. And I changed my stripe color. Potentially. But for now, that gets me that nice stripe pattern along this texture. And this is again why that UV layout was very important. If I didn't set my UVs correctly here, I wouldn't be able to just have it wrap around the whole board like this. I would have to make my own texture for this. Instead, I can just do this and haha, done. I wonder if maybe I set this to multiply. Yeah, I like color burn. There we go. Now let's go to the top here. And one thing I want to do is maybe add a little dirt to it. So I don't really have a dirt material here. I need to kind of update my materials. But I could use something. The ground gravel? Yeah. Kind of want just like dirt feel to it. Rust should work. Not quite right, but we'll benefit of the doubt use that. So I could just add kind of a rust layer over top here. And then I'm going to add a mask. And in Substance Painter, I can create a generator, which is basically a way to determine how the texture gets applied. In this case, I'm going to add just a dirt generator to this mask. And, oops, did I not? Oh, yeah, I didn't select it. Okay, generator, dirt, boop. There we go. And now we can use this to just add some variation into this. And kind of just scuff it up a little bit. So something along those lines. Now, I would want to make sure that this rust is probably not adding anything like metalness to it or roughness. Maybe not height though. I just want a little bit of color. So there we go. We're starting to get our skateboard. There we go. So we could just keep going with this. We could add some extra dirt layer on the bottom, add some scuffs and like scratches where someone might have like grinded on a rail, add that to the metal here so it's not so nice and new. I could add dirt onto the wheels just on this part right here. Add some images to the front of this. And then let's actually see how it looks kind of not rendered out fully. Also keep in mind this is the low res version. Basically once I have all of this, I could export all of this material back into Maya and do my high res pass on the board. So let's take a look at this. Hopefully it won't slow down the stream too much. Okay. I don't think I want him or the board to be out in the countryside. Not the great place to go skateboarding. There we go. So we've got kind of this environment here. I can just do a quick check on how the materials are looking. So how's this feeling? Not bad. Is it great? Is it perfect? No. This was what? A few minutes of just throwing things together? But it's getting there. Let's see how the bottom feels. There we go. Probably a little too shiny. But aha. So once you have your UVs in place and all of that good stuff, you can do all sorts of things. Now, I could have also done this in Maya. I use Substance Painter just to kind of show a different workflow. But this works regardless of program. If you're in ZBrush, if you're in Blender, you need those UVs in order to be able to get all of this extra cool detail in there with materials and actual textures. And even if you're not like adding an image texture, to add these procedurals like the bump maps, the little grain to things, the scuffs and scratches. That's what's really going to make your objects come to life versus just straight materials. That's nice, but it's not going to bring it to that next level.